first of all, have to have one very specific thing, and that is a real voice. And that is a voice which is instantly recognizable by an audience. I'm not saying everyone has to have the throat quality of Joan Sutherland or Enrico Caruso. It helps. But if you have an ordinary sound, which is why I didn't become a singer, I studied, but I realized I wasn't very interesting. So I decided to put my efforts into this, into coaching. That's the first thing. Then there is an incredible amount of hard work that goes into it. And it's easy to say, oh sure, there's hard work. But you have to think about vocal production, vocal cultivation and technique. You have to think about making the body work in a way that best supports the voice, literally from your pelvic bone up to the top of your head. That's what support is. You have to be musical. It's in your nose. Qua, qua.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you have the best of your head voice and your chest voice, and it's beautiful mix. Okay, congratulations. Does it feel okay?
Thank you. Yes.
I know you don't feel great, but it sounds good.
It's okay.
Okay, now, remember the k sound, guanto, is right here. Guan, guan. Want to try it?
Kuan, kuan,
Guan.
kuan.
That's it. And that gives you a strong start. Guan.
Kuan.
Yes, sir. Clear? There are plenty of people with voices who are simply unmusical. And, you know, it's Darwin and the law of the jungle and all of that. You may get to a certain point, but then the laws of the jungle take over and you're not interested because there are people who are better musicians than you. Then you have to have a great sense of language so that you can communicate. And it's more demanding these days than it ever was. When I was a kid, occasionally an opera like Boris would be performed at the Met, and everyone would be singing in Russian except for Cesare Siepi, who sang it in Italian because that was his language. That would never happen anymore. Everybody has to be singing, and with reasonable diction and a good understanding of the text, so that they can perform for the audience. Think of that here already. Livia fe, toani. And then you're in position. Okay? For me, that's better. What do you think?
For me too.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. Because you're already set up in the position. Okay? You have to have the ability to move well on stage, be able to do what directors ask you to do. And sometimes it's really crazy what they ask you to do. Because many directors don't understand the physical side of producing a voice. They think you just sing. Paul Curran, who does a lot of work, Scotsman who's done a lot of work in Russia, is one of the guys who really understands that even if a singer is bending over, the resonating cavity has to stay open. And he takes that into consideration. Mitya Tchernyakov also knows very well what the demands on a singer are. So you see, it's not just the voice. That's very important, but it's only the beginning of it. Then you have the musicality, you have to have the physical training, you have to have a lot of courage, lots of courage, because if you're nervous and your support isn't working, these two little pieces of flesh inside your throat will not vibrate the way they're supposed to, and then you can't sing.
legge, studia, impara. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's
sorry.
okay. That's okay. And you did something that you didn't do before. Jenya, what you did was impa. You pulled your tongue. Yeah, leave your tongue out of the way. Because when you pull your tongue back, it goes sharp. Okay?
Essa legge, studia, impara.
And then, maybe the cruelest of it all, you have to be ready and be in the right place at the right time. You just, you never know when your chance is going to come and what that could lead to. A lot of singers in major opera houses have cover assignments where, they learn the role and they rehearse in case the main cast singer gets ill or something happens. But very often, a cover singer is not completely ready. And when that happens, you can kiss your chance goodbye. It's over. Because you haven't made a good impression that night. They don't want to know you about it. The people who work in the opera house don't want to know about you anymore. Yeah. Good for you, Dima. Now, yeah, I'm not sure about comando shurillo. Longer phrases, okay? All right, see, very good. I absolutely hate the term masterclass, but that's what they're called, so you have to call that. I would rather call it a public coaching because it's just going to be an extension of what we do in the coaching room. It's not a show that I put on to entertain people in the audience. If something funny happens, they can laugh. But I want them to be aware how serious this is. About 20 years ago, I was the pianist for some master classes in Baden-Baden when the new opera house opened. And I was working with Gundel Janowitz. And Gundel is a very serious lady. I mean, she's a great artist, great teacher, but a very serious lady. And during the intermission, someone came back and asked me to ask her if she could maybe be a little funnier or tell some stories. And I said, no, I will not do that. But she overheard something from the next room and she came in and she said, was denn los? What's going on here? And I said, okay, I'll tell you. They want me to ask you to be funnier and more entertaining. And she started crying. She burst into tears. And she said, what the hell do they want from me? They hired me as a master teacher. I'm not here to be a circus clown. So that's not the point of the classes. The public classes, I'm very happy when people are there listening, and I hope they learn something and appreciate how much goes into a young singer's training, and then how much that training lasts through a lifetime. More text. Nu poco rillo. Great work. Thank you. Thanks.